In the world of tech, everything moves so fast, right? New tools pop up constantly, each one shinier than the last. So, how has a tool that's been around for over a decade not only survived but stayed on top? Today, we're going to dig into the story of Jenkins, the unlikely and honestly the undisputed king of DevOps automation.
So to really get why Jenkins is such a big deal, you got to go back to the problem it was designed to solve. And that problem? Well, it has a name I think a lot of developers will recognize. Development hell.
I want you to picture this. You've got developers all over the world, all trying to push their code to the same place. Without a solid system, it's just chaos. You end up with delayed projects, bugs piling up like crazy, and teams just pointing fingers at each other when everything breaks. The whole process was slow, it was inefficient, and frankly, it was a massive headache for everyone involved.
But, out of all that chaos came a pretty revolutionary idea. A whole new philosophy that could take development from that state of total chaos and turn it into a continuous, predictable flow.
And that philosophy is called continuous integration, or CI for short. The idea itself is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. Instead of everyone dumping their code in at the end of the day and just, hoping for the best, you merge small changes, but you do it all the time. And every single time a change is made, a whole series of automated builds and tests kick off immediately. And this right here, this shows you the night and day difference. The old way was these nightly builds. Everybody would scramble to get their code in by 5 p.m., the build would run overnight, and you'd only find out the next morning that someone checked in, had broken everything. A total nightmare. With CI, though, code gets merged constantly, builds and tests happen right away, and you find those project-killing errors in minutes, not hours or days later.
Okay, so continuous integration is a fantastic idea, right? But it's just a philosophy. You need a tool, an engine to actually make it all happen. And that, my friends, is where our hero, Jenkins, finally enters the story.
Believe it or not, Jenkins wasn't always called Jenkins. It started out as a project called Hudson. But then Oracle bought the company that owned it, and the open source community got, nervous. So to make sure the tools stayed free and driven by the community, they created a fork. Basically, they copied the code to start a new independent project, and they called it Jenkins. That one decision to prioritize the community was absolutely key to it becoming the powerhouse it is today.
So what's the secret sauce? Why is Jenkins so powerful? Well, it really comes down to these 4 pillars. You've got the open source core, which gives teams total control. That's supported by a huge community of people building and improving it. But the real magic, the absolute game changer, is its total extensibility. And that's powered by this slice right here, over 1,800 plugins. I mean, think about that. You need to connect to AWS. There's a plugin for that. You need a code quality scanner? Plugin. Slack notifications? There's a plugin for that too. Whatever you need to do, there is almost certainly a plugin for it.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? It's this beautiful automated flow. A developer commits their code, bam, Jenkins immediately picks it up and builds it. Then it runs a whole suite of automated tests to sniff out any bugs. If everything looks good, the code gets staged for release. And finally, Jenkins can automatically deploy that code right out to the live servers. This whole pipeline, from start to finish, can be completely hands-off. Which, brings us right back to that big question we started with. We live in this world of slick, brand new cloud-native tools. So why is this old king still wearing the crown? What is it about Jenkins that gives it this incredible staying power?
And the answer, really, lies in the messy reality of big companies. That insane plugin ecosystem means it can connect to anything, and I mean anything, including older legacy systems that the newer tools just can't touch. And that is a huge deal. Being open source gives you total control, not just over the tool, but your whole process. It's really no surprise that it's trusted by massive companies that have built their most important workflows on it for years and years.
You want a real-world example? Let's talk about the automotive giant Bosch. They're facing a serious challenge. The software in modern cars is just insanely complex. We're talking millions and millions of lines of code, and their old process just couldn't keep up anymore. They had to find a way to streamline everything.
Okay, so before Jenkins, take a guess. How long do you think it took them to complete one single full software build process? Think about it. It took them a full 3 days. 72 hours of just waiting around to find out if the latest changes even worked. And after they brought in a Jenkins pipeline, they took that 3-day process and they absolutely crushed it, down to less than 3 hours. This wasn't just a small tweak. This was a complete transformation of how they worked, letting their engineers innovate at a speed that was just impossible before.
But okay, let's be real. No tool is perfect, and Jenkins definitely has its challenges. It can be pretty complex to set up and maintain, especially if you're new to it. There's a steep learning curve for sure. And because it's so powerful, it can be a bit of a resource hog, meaning you need some serious servers to run it well. So, with all of that in mind, how should a team think about this? How do you choose your path forward? Does the old king still have a place in a modern tech company?
It really boils down to what you actually need. If your organization demands tons of customization, if you have really complex pipelines, or if you have to connect with those old legacy systems we talked about, Jenkins is often unbeatable. But if you're a newer team, you're all in on the cloud, and you just want a simple, clean interface, then yeah, one of the newer platforms might be a better fit.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The whole story of Jenkins kind of highlights this central conflict in technology. At the end of the day, what's more valuable for a modern team? The raw, customizable, do-anything power of a tool like Jenkins, or the sleek polish and simplicity of something new? That's a question every single team has to answer for itself.